attendance to stand and face the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening and welcome to the Independence Township Planning Commission meeting. Copies of the agenda for tonight's meeting are available at the entrance to this room. Agendas and minutes of prior meetings are available on the township website. The meeting will be conducted in accordance with the agenda as presented or amended this evening by the Planning Commission. State law establishes planning commissions. This planning commission is comprised of seven residents appointed to serve their community. Members are appointed by the supervisor and confirmed by the township board. Other individuals participating in the meeting this evening include the township's planning consultant, Carlisle Wortman Associates. Mr. Carlisle is attending remotely. The township's planner, Brian Ottman, and the township's attorney consultant, Brittany Ellis. If you wish to address the Planning Commission, please come forward to the podium when recognized and provide your name and address on the sign-in sheet. Please begin your remarks by stating your name for the benefits of the commissioners. All remarks are to be addressed to the Planning Commission, not to anyone else in the room. If you have a cell phone or any other device that's going to potentially make noise and disrupt the meeting, please either switch it off or put it on silent mode. And at this time, I ask the Planning Commission Secretary to conduct a roll call. Secretary's not here. Does someone want to pinch hit as a secretary this evening?
Mr. Ottman.
I can do it.
Mr. Alman, could you please conduct a roll call? Thank you.
Mr. Boersma is absent. Mr. Ritchie.
Here.
Mr. Galley.
Here.
Mr. Savina.
Here.
Mr. Pytel.
Here.
Mr. Loughran.
Yes. Here.
And Judy Tully is absent.
Thank you. We do have 5 members present. That does represent a quorum, so we can conduct business. Next item is review of the agenda. Does anyone want to move forward a motion to approve the agenda as presented, or does someone want to recommend some modifications to it?
I'll move to approve the agenda as presented. Support.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing no one, that is approved 5-0, and that's the agenda we're going to go with this evening. Next item is item E, public comment for items that are not on tonight's agenda. Is there anyone present who wishes to comment on an item that is not on tonight's agenda? Mr. Ottman, there's no one online, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Seeing no one, we will move on to item F, public hearings, and there are no public hearings this evening. So we'll move on to item G, regular business. Item G1, PC file number 2022-004, global signs and awning. The petitioner is requesting amended final site plan approval in order to install a second wall sign on the mobile gas station located at 6889 Sashawa Road, parcel number 0822326011, and the zoning is MS Motor Vehicle Service Station. Mr. Carlisle, are you going to present this? We can't, you're on mute.
He's in space.
And you're in space.
Here, we had this problem last time.
Nope.
On the TV?
No, it's the volume for cable to Teams.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Maybe he can call your phone.
Can we do this through cell phone maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're resolving it right now.
They're resolving it right now.
You could take the next item.
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you just change the agenda around?
Yeah, Dick, we're gonna put you on hold, and we'll do the next item, and then come back to you while we resolve this, okay? So, we're gonna move on to item, we're gonna suspend this temporarily as we fix our technical difficulties, and we're gonna move on to item G2, PC file number 2022-008. It's a proposed zoning ordinance text amendment. It's related to revisions to section 11.08 lake access regulations. For the record, we had a public hearing on this item that was open and closed at the last meeting. We did take some public comment. And Ms. Ellis, are you going to summarize the changes that were made since the last meeting?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So as summarized, the PC had proposed this matter for consideration so that the township attorney could amend the ordinance to add some clarifications. That language was added, and I'll go through that right now. That includes clarification that special land use approval is not required for property use solely for the purpose of swimming and/or day use. Additional language was added to clarify that the ordinance only applies to motor or engine-powered boats. There's also language added to clarify that the PC may place restrictions and conditions found to be reasonably necessary or appropriate on applicants applying for an SLU under this ordinance. And lastly, language was added per discussion to address that an applicant for SAD approval is responsible for obtaining any other necessary approvals in addition to its SAD approval from the state and/or EGLE or DEQ. And that concludes all of the clarifications that were made by our office.
If you could stay up there for any potential
Of course.
questions. Anyone, any comments or any questions?
Well, I'll start
Yeah.
on. I guess I missed the meeting, but I did read the minutes and tried to catch up with what you guys did in the last meeting. I guess in your summary that you just read, I didn't hear, I know there were several questions about the number of boats. Do we take out the restriction on the number of boats?
We did not take out that restriction, and if I recall correctly, our discussion had resulted in, there was discussion about the clarification of what that section meant, and the planning commission can correct me if I'm incorrect, but I recall that we had resolved that that language would stay as it is.
You guys are okay with that? I just thought in reading the minutes, there was questions about whether we were reducing the number of boats a resident could have. So.
I think, as my recollection is, we discussed it, but we didn't take any action. We didn't propose any amended language on that item.
Yeah, I think that's still the only issue I have with this. I had three main issues before, and two of them I think are resolved, so I appreciate that. And those are probably the two biggest ones. The only thing I still have an issue with is that the planning commission, I think, lost a little bit of power here as far as being able to review and approve a certain number of votes before. I think it was 2 per 100, if I'm not mistaken, and now it's limited to 1 per 100. I'm not gonna die on that hill, but just, that is the thing I still probably have a concern with, is that we're limiting ourselves as a planning commission with this language.
Mr. Chair, may I just address that quickly?
Sure.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
What I was mentioning last time probably didn't articulate very well, but there are boat docking ordinances like this or similar to this all over the state, and the standard is the 100 as opposed to the 200, and so that's why that was introduced here. I mean, to the extent that it does restrict you to some degree, it's only restricting you in comparison to the older version, and but not as it relates to a statewide standard.
Why are we changing from 2 boats per 100 to 1 boat per 100?
That's the statewide standard.
1 boat per 100.
Yes.
But what are we doing about, say there's residents, I don't know if there is any or not, but what happens if there's residents with 2 boats per 100? And
Well, a resident can have, this ordinance doesn't limit the number of boats a resident can have. This is only a standard for determining like a common area, boat launching deal.
Okay, so anybody that has an outlot or whatever you want to call it now, and maybe they have 2 boats per 100, and if we change this now, is that cutting in half what the max they could have?
No, because this ordinance expressly states that anything that had been approved before or is non-conforming is grandfathered.
Okay. And that's why you guys didn't change that thing, so.
So I don't know so just to clarify, so, recognizing that many lakes in the township are close to build-out, but lot splits happen and things happen. Houses get torn down, lots get combined, split, et cetera. So there's a parcel, I'm just gonna make up a what-if parcel. It's an acre, it's in size, there's a house that's been on the parcel for 50 years, there's a dock with 2 boats. The parcel gets split, now there's a new dock, a new house with a new dock. If that resident decides to have 3 boats as a standalone parcel, that resident can do so, correct?
Yes, because essentially the hypothetical you're creating here says that both of these parcels are riparian parcels. And so this doesn't even begin to limit that.
Where this would come into play is if there's a 20-acre parcel that is undeveloped, there's a site condominium proposed or a multifamily development or what have you, where we start to have a dense collection of units. Now that and there's a keyhole or there's a public dock, that ratio is gonna come into effect in this
That'll come into
situation.
effect. And that's where a riparian parcel is serving backlots that have no lake frontage.
And just to clarify, when you mentioned the state standard, is that a standard, when you say it's common, a common standard, is that a standard that's commonly used throughout the state, or is that a standard that's been adopted by Eagle or another organization?
No, Eagle has not adopted that standard, but I honestly, I've drafted probably 5 of these, and they all have the 100, and I've seen others that I haven't drafted throughout Oakland County, and they're all 100.
So similar to,
One for one.
if I were to research drive-through stacking spaces in zoning ordinances, I would look at a bunch of zoning ordinances and I would maybe find a pattern of,
Right.
it's 10 per, generally speaking, it's 10 per window or what have you. That's the same type of finding that you found.
Exactly.
Okay. Any questions? Go ahead.
I have one. So you've both stated that this obviously expressly states that the grandfathered situations can't be changed. Does it also not add any layer of regulation on those situations? The one that pops into my mind is I have a friend, and I've never been to his parcel, but he says him and 3 other houses share a dock. There's 4 lots that have a dock on Deer Lake. I'm sure they don't have a marina permit. It's just 4 lots, and it's been there for 50 years. So do they now have to go get a marina permit? You're not taking away their right, but are you adding a layer onto them?
Well, from the way you say that, this situation existed before any prohibition was in effect in the township.
Yeah, I think it's the 4 most southern lots in the Knolls or something like that. They have their own dock.
Yeah, so if that existed before this prohibition, it's a non-conforming use.
Okay. So that they can't be forced to go get a marina license?
Correct.
Okay.
But if they got 4 boats now, they can't have 5 boats tomorrow.
I don't know if the number of boats they had.
Yeah.
I'm sure, I don't even know
I
if
think
they
it's
have
split
100.
between 4 parcels. I know the piece you're talking about.
I don't even know if they have 100 feet.
Yeah,
No, they don't. It's an easement.
Yeah, it's been there forever.
Mhm.
yeah.
So that would be a non-conforming use in that respect. Do they need to have documentation for it to make it non-conforming?
You don't
It's
need,
less
it's just a factual history. But you'd have to present the factual history for it. It's really evidence. But you can't expand it, of course. And I think that's what Brian was saying.
I mean, the way it was described to me is that these 4 houses have a deeded access lot to this. I'm sure it doesn't say how many boats, but yes, obviously if you tried to add a 5th house to it,
That'd be a
depending who's
problem.
behind them, obviously,
Yeah.
that's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, and, as far as the marinas go, you never know what Eagle will say. We could never, we don't have the capability of stopping Eagle from regulating, but as far as our ordinance, I mean, passing or not passing, this wouldn't change that anyway. For Eagle.
I just didn't know if some neighbor could come up to them, well, yeah, hey, this passed, but still you don't have a marina permit. Now this says you have to have a marina permit if you're adding that to that.
Well, now, this doesn't say you have to have a marina print. We were very careful with that one, so
Okay.
that, because we don't want to create a township ordinance that requires a state permit, because if they sue the state, then they'll sue us too. We don't want that.
Okay.
And this is a provision in the zoning ordinance, so non-conforming rights do apply, so.
Yes.
So again, just clarification for me is I just don't like limiting our rights as a planning commission, which we're doing. We're making it, you know, from 2 votes per 100 to 1 per 100. I'm not gonna die on that hill, and I'm not saying what's right and what's wrong. You know, I'm comfortable with the other changes that were made, so, you know, I don't have the objections that I had before.
Anyone else?
I guess I just wanna make sure the people there now are protected and, you know, I guess I'm okay with going forward if we change the rules, any new, construction or any new activity, then would have to conform, so.
Yeah, I mean, we're a recommending body in this instance. 1 per 100, 1 per 200 is a pretty slim margin. I could support either one. Yeah, I think it's important to come up with a reasonable standard that seems reasonable. If someone wanted to forward the other number, I'd be fine with that too. I mean, I like the direction it is, my opinion, so.
Just had a question. Was this, I think I read somewhere about, like, if somebody has a bunch of backlots or outlots, and they have a bunch of friends that wanna keep their boats on the lake, is that kinda what this is directed to preventing?
Correct.
And
It's-
that has happened, or?
That has happened in the past. It's really to regulate multifamily use in a single-family district, which happens when you have multiple non-riparian boat owners accessing through a single-family property
and
that they don't own.
And that occurs, they have boats, they put them there, and,
Correct? That's an issue that happens in all
yeah,
lakes across Oakland County.
thank you.
Does anyone wanna move a recommendation, recommending approval of this amendment? Don't all speak at once.
Everybody's out waiting, everybody.
Poker face.
Mr. Logren, is there something we could change to make you?
I mean, I would fully support it at 2 votes per 100. Again, I don't wanna die on that hill. I don't wanna move it forward because I'm just concerned that we're limiting ourselves. I don't have to have it in there, but I don't feel strongly to move it forward if we're limiting ourselves.
I have, you know, one per, stated differently, 1 per 100 or 1 per 50. Right?
Correct.
One, isn't that what we're talking, was
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Make a resolution and we'll vote on it.
Okay.
And so just to clarify, the the standard today is 1 per 50, correct?
I believe it is. It's 2 per 100. so
2 per
yes.
100, 1 per 50.
I'll move that forward. Move to approve PC file 2022-008 zoning ordinance text amendment revisions to section 11.808 lake access regulations with the following change to section, bear with me, 11.08. Oh, where is this? C 2C, that the shoreline for division for number of, am I in the right spot?
Yes,
For the number of boats would be divided by 50 rather than 100.
So to clarify, that's the only proposed recommended change.
Correct.
I'll support that. Any discussion?
And that's other than the changes that are listed. Because this is not a final document, so it's,
So it would-
as the document, it
As
shows
revised
change.
with the current.
as provided to us this evening, again, reminder, we're a recommending body. If the township board wants to flip it back to 1/100, they can do that. It's,
Correct.
they're the lawmakers in the township, not us. So we have a motion and a support. Mr. Rotman, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Galley,
Yes.
Mr. Lockron,
Yes.
Mr. Pytel,
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie,
Yes.
Mr. Savada.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, commission members.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You leaving already?
Well, they said it's much more insane.
Have a great night.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, we're gonna go back to the item that was temporarily suspended G1, PC file number 2022-004. Global Signs and Awning is the petitioner. They're requesting an amended final site plan approval in order to install a second wall sign on the mobile gas station located at 6889 Sashaba Road, parcel number 0822326-011, zoned MS Motor Vehicle Service Station. Do we have contact with the man in outer space?
Yes.
Awesome.
And he's no longer in space, he's back to Earth.
I still can't hear you though, Dick. Seriously.
He had a microphone on during that whole last item.
Is there a call-in number to the Teams meeting?
Yeah,
Like
there
that?
is actually.
Who's, keep speaking, Dick.
Nope.
Yeah, hold on,
Brian keeps muting you, Dick.
I'm not even online, I can't even get online, so.
If he wants to call me, I can put it on speaker right next to the microphone.
Do you have Miss Ellis's phone number?
He's gonna call me probably. Just call me.
Yeah.
You can speak now.
Okay. Now can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
For the most part.
Okay, well, I've switched from my laptop to my iPad, and there's apparently still a problem. So, anyway, this is for a request for two wall signs at the gas station at the northwest quadrant, I-75 in Sashaba. I believe it's a mobile station. And based on the frontage of the building itself, 74 square feet of wall sign is permitted, and they are proposing 74 square feet, so it's within the allowable limits. They're proposing a sign on the Sashaba frontage, and then the side of the building that fronts the southbound off-ramp from northbound I-75. So if you can visualize where that is, it's on the south side of the building, okay? This is our second review, which I don't believe the commissioners saw their first review because we did not suggest that they move forward with some of the questions that we had. And we had previously noted that it's not really clear how either sign is going to be visible. The sign on the front of the building is going to be hidden by the canopy, or I believe hidden by the canopy from what I can tell. And the one on the south side will be more visible, but solely by traffic using the off-ramp from northbound 75. And it is strictly directing traffic southbound onto Sashaba Road. We did ask, there was a previous submission with a different color scheme, and they did change that in response to our request to what you currently see, but we still question the utility of this sign, considering visibility, and we did raise a question about this, how it will be illuminated, and that was not addressed in the revised application. So we do still have questions about this, and that, in our opinion, have yet to be addressed.
Okay,
Is the applicant here?
applicant's here. Before we ask the applicant to come forward, are there any questions for Mr. Carlisle?
Pardon?
Any questions for Mr. Carlisle before I ask the applicant to come up?
Nope, not for me.
No questions? No. Could you come forward, please, and address the planning commission and with anything you'd like to add to the presentation by Mr. Carlisle? And if you could kind of give us some background in terms of why you chose the location of the signs, the colors, et cetera?
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Matt Asman. I'm the regional manager for My Stop LLC. We occupy the mobile gas station at the corner being cited, 6889 Sashbar Road. So what we want to propose is with the drawings, we had a couple mishaps with what was needed, and thank you, Mr. Carlisle, for allowing us to present this again. We want one on the south side of the building. This does pretty much, you can see what we feel on I-75 going down, the exit ramp to getting on northbound 75, coming on southbound, coming off the exit of 75, and also northbound traffic on Sashba. The south side of the building is completely visible. We have done in the past with the shrubbish and bushes and trees that when we first took over the site 2 years ago, it was overgrown. We have now then took everything down, so the building is very visible from all locations. The front sign in the east side of the building facing Sashbar Road. With concern with the canopy, we do see that. We have taken that in also into consideration where that is. And mainly too, it's not just for ongoing traffic or passerbys. This is also a sign that will be utilized for customers and people filling inside the actual station, to say, hey, we do have now liquor on the building. Okay, so this is kind of like a dual purpose where you are driving down the Sashba going north or south. You do see the sign on the road. You could also, it's very visible for when you're inside of the parking lot, and then also now whatever that they're developing across the street. If you look through the parking lot, you can also see the sign from that side too, especially with the hotel.
I think Mr. Carlo asked about how the sign is gonna be lit. It says LED illumination, but it doesn't say if it's like
Yep. And then
backlit
this-
or whatever.
Go ahead.
Yeah. My name is Eddie Sido with the Global Signs and Awning. Okay, I'm sorry, the question is it about the LEDs, how it's gonna be illuminated?
Is it like backlit in the letters or?
No, it's gonna be just entire of the letters. It's gonna be fronted only.
Backlit?
No, just fronted.
So the only letters that say liquor is gonna be lighted.
Right, but they're gonna be lighted internally. You're not having a light shine
Internal,
on to
yes.
them, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Internal lights, yeah.
Like you just said, entire line.
And the, just to clarify, according to your documents you submitted, that you're removing the one wall sign you have now that has,
Correct, the marquee board will come down.
has the message board like
Yes.
on it, and you're, which is one of your wall signs. So you're
Yes.
taking that off and you're putting two identical signs
Yes.
in its place.
Just to clarify, you've recently decided to sell liquor there?
Yes, we have.
How recent, just out of curiosity?
We started bringing in selection last December
Okay.
when we did get our permit 100% completed. And now we've, since then, have now expanded with some remodelization of shelving and stuff inside the store.
I've got gas at your station probably 500 times in my life, and I've paid at the pump probably 499 times.
Yeah,
So,
and
Just
now
come
we
back.
want you to come inside,
There you
$499.
go.
well, now that I know there's liquor there now.
Exactly, right.
You got a reason to go in? I guess the only thing, Brian and Dick, you guys can maybe say what the regulations are in this, but I just know that since it's being illuminated internally, there is like a brightness factor, everything it has to maintain as well too, doesn't it?
Yes, that's. Sorry. I forgot that I had to speak into my phone. My apologies. Yeah, and that was part of the, and of course, that could be part of their, their actual permit application. But yeah, it cannot, the illumination cannot exceed 3,500 K as part of the actual LED fixture, and there are specific standards in terms of how bright it can actually be from, based on the standards in the ordinance. So, yeah, they're going to have to demonstrate that.
Which we have no problem
Okay.
with this type of sign that we propose. Any lighting, any type of Ks and, brightness, things like that can be adjusted, or we could retrofit it to it.
And you're still using the white lettering
Yes,
On
yes,
the-
what was
per
proposed,
your
yes.
per your letter.
Mhm.
Per your,
Yep, to match the building.
So I think this the sign from a from a blending in standpoint, I think it's really compatible with the building, potentially to a fault, because it's not going to pop maybe as much as it could, but maybe with the lighting it'll be just fine. Go ahead, Mr. Lochran.
I was just gonna simply ask, it looks like, and I'm looking at the one on the front of the building, it looks like it doesn't quite fit in there. Am I missing something? It looks like, because you've got banding and fitting it in the fascia, it doesn't look like you have that much space from a,
That's more of
height.
a drawing conceptually.
okay.
Yeah, we did go up there and actually physically take measurements.
Yeah, the south sign, you're right, I mean, you will get greater visibility coming north on Sashabaw.
Mhm.
That's wide open all the way across the bridge, and,
Yep.
traffic backs up there. The one on the front canopy, obviously, the comments there that it may block it, it may not. I mean, I guess that goes to his benefit in one way. It's not an obtrusive feature to people driving by, but Sashabaw does go up and down. There are hills there, so I think some southbound traffic might catch that sign on the right as they're coming by, depending on the height of the vehicle, so.
Right.
I think visibility-wise and design-wise, it's fine.
Yeah, I have no issue with this.
either do it as long as they meet the
Yep.
requirements
Square
for
footage
the.
requirements and,
Absolutely.
Right.
the
Yep.
lumen
And
requirements.
the illumination, I have no issue. I think it blends in nice, it fits, and I hope you sell lots of beer and liquor.
Us too. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone else? Someone wanna move forward a motion?
I'll move on PC file 2022-004 for Global Signs and Awning, requesting a amended final site plan to install 2 wall signs and remove the current wall sign that they have. Per the comments by the Planning Commission and the consultants tonight about the conformance of the brightness and size to the township requirements.
I'll support.
We've motion and a second. Before we vote, I just want to say thank you for improving the property. Thank you for investing in the township, and I hope you're really successful there.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
And can we conduct a roll call vote, please, Mr. Ottman?
Mr. Lochran,
Yes.
Mr. Pytel,
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie,
Yes.
Mr. Savana,
Yes.
and Mr. Gale.
Yes.
Congratulations, you're approved.
Thank you,
Thank you.
gentlemen. Appreciate the time
luck.
today. Thank you very much.
Next item is item H, approval of minutes. This is for the H1, the regular meeting minutes of July 28th, 2022. Does anyone have any proposed revisions to those minutes, or can we make a motion to approve them as presented?
I'm going to abstain since I wasn't here, so.
Move to approve the minutes,
I'll second.
July
We'll do-
20th,
As presented?
as presented.
As presented, I'll second. Mr. Rodman, can we do a roll call vote, only because I know one of the members is going to abstain?
Mr. Pytel,
Yes.
Mr. Savana,
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie,
I abstained because I was absent.
Mr. Gale,
Yes.
and Mr. Lochran.
Yes.
Those meeting minutes are approved. Next item, item I, consultant reports. Mr. Carlisle, do you have anything to report?
And he just hung up on me.
You just hung up on Brian.
All right, let's try it again.
I didn't mean to.
Okay, we hear you.
My apologies. Okay, is that better?
Yep.
Yep. I don't know what the issue is here tonight, but anyway, just so commissioners are aware, we've continued to do some background work on the master plan, but to be very clear, during any type of election, we typically don't think it's a good idea that it's not typically a good idea to be running a master plan during an election time because it becomes an election issue. But now that that's over, we're proceeding. Next Tuesday, we have a focus group workshop with the seniors, and we're hoping in September and October to conduct focus groups with both for Sashabaw and Dixie Highway. And I will be asking commissioners to suggest people who might be good representatives in both of those cases. We have some thoughts about that. We would like it to have it to be a mix of citizens, business owners, developer, property owners, a mix in both cases. I think that Mr. Fisher has had, has made some initiatives on Dixie Highway that we have a number of people that we could come to a focus group, but Sashabaw is another case, and we've always had a lot of discussion about that. So at our next meeting, I would like commissioners to come forward with any ideas, or even prior to that, some ideas of any individuals that they think might be suitable or good to attend those focus groups, who you think might be interested. And, we're typically looking for, it can be, as much as 15 people is mixing for an effective discussion. We also will have then at least 2 more general workshops that are going to be more of a public nature. And the other thing Brian, I believe, is going to mention this, but would really encourage commissioners to encourage people to fill out the survey. I mean, this is a great opportunity for a lot of people to participate, and so far we're not getting a lot of participation. So, and Brian will probably have more to say about that.
Thank you, Dick. Mr. Carlisle, sorry, we're at a formal meeting. Thank you, Mr. Carlisle. Any questions? Okay. Mr. Ottman, we had a resident in the audience ask what survey. Now's your chance to inform the world.
Yeah, so, sorry, I just hang up there. That's okay. So we have a master plan website that is on our website, our existing website, where it's basically an FAQ of what a master plan is, what goals and objectives are, future land use, and what that means. And we also have 2 ways that residents or non-residents can fill out and participate in public comment. One is a survey. It takes about 5 minutes to complete. It's all online. And we've had actually about 190 recipients. It jumped big time in the past couple days. I know Parks and Rec has put it out on their social media, so that's helped, and ITV is promoting it. So we've had a big jump in the last couple days, but it's basically just general comments about the township. Generally, where, how old are you? Where do you live? Like, what type of lot do you live on? And then it's, have Parks and Rec related questions. Have you been to Bay Court? Have you, when's, so it's basically describing what you like or you can answer what you like or dislike about the community. So it's, takes about 5 minutes. So we're starting to get responses, and if the internet was working, I'd show you the dashboard that I've created to split up. Basically, we've got 5 different tabs of data that we're looking at right now, and 2 of them are for Parks and Rec, because they're going to use this in their Parks and Rec plan as well, Cause most of those Parks and Rec questions are generated towards Parks and Rec plans. But, you know, basic information about, do people want more commercial properties? Or, you know, more commercial development, industrial development, what type of residential development? And then basic demographics of who's responding to this survey, what type of lot, how old are they, what type of lot, how long have they lived here? So, I'll probably just send out the link to you guys once it's fully complete to take a look at. So, before the next meeting, there's no point in waiting, so. But yeah, I encourage all of you, if you haven't done it yet, fill out the survey. Like I said, it takes 5 minutes, just do it right online and just hit submit, and that gets transmitted to us. So, we've had about 8 people from outside the community, answer it, I think maybe 9 now. One just came in this afternoon, so that's okay too, if you don't live here. A lot of us do things in Clarkston anyway, so we're all kind of considered residents, so to speak, so.
See, if you're
So
on
people-
Facebook, there's like a QR code.
There you
on
go,
the- on the-
that's it.
On Facebook, on the, Independence Township Parks and Rec
They just
Facebook
did it,
page,
yep,
so
yep.
that'll lead you right to the survey.
Mhm.
Just wiped out the seniors right there.
Well, actually, the seniors are
Actually,
one of the
we've
ones that helped
gotten-
develop that.
Yeah, we gotten quite a bit of seniors who has filled it out. You don't need a QR code to do it. This is just, you know, with a younger audience being on social media, you know, that's what they do. But I encourage you, just go to the website. I think it's right on the main menu, like the news section. I think it's still there. So you can just link it right to there. And you can read about the plan and scroll down a little bit, and it'll say, you know, provide feedback, and you just hit that, and it jumps you right to the survey.
And my wife is just chomping at to be part of this. And,
No,
I've been out here since '69 and she's years old.
I've never heard of a survey before.
Well, it works on a phone, it works on a tablet, it works on a computer, it works anywhere, so.
And then you're gonna aggregate that, and we'll use that for planning at the, you know, master plan level? Okay.
Yeah, it's all, the data automatically populates for me, so it's pretty much me just massaging it and designing it to a website that you can all see the data.
So for the thousands of people that are gonna watch this meeting, maybe tens of thousands, please, go to the website, fill it out, share with your friends and neighbors on Facebook, spread the word.
Yes.
Any, anything else, does that conclude the consultant report, Mr. Carlisle? Okay, you don't have a report?
No report.
Item
Just a
J,
speech, you know, just a speech.
I can make one up.
There you go.
item J, discussion, anything, any planning commission members or staff wanna discuss?
Are we allowed to discuss that North Morgan Lake? Or-
No,
Okay.
I answer that for you.
Okay, anything else? Next item, item K, adjournment. I motion that we adjourn at 7:15. Looking for a second.
Second.
We have a second from Mr. Ritchie. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing no one, we're adjourned.